Now shifting focus to the United States, and as the countdown begins for the U.S. presidential race, trouble is mounting for Donald Trump. After a slew of legal battles, Trump is now ineligible to appear on Maine's 2024 primary ballot. Now, Maine's top election official disqualified Donald Trump from the state ballot in the next year's U.S. presidential primary election, and Maine now joins Colorado as the two states to ban Trump from the ballot. And for his role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol that took place 2 years ago, Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows, a Democrat, said that Trump incited an insurrection when he spread false claims about voter fraud in the 2020 election. And he then urged his supporters to march on the Capitol to stop lawmakers from certifying the vote. And this decision comes after a group of former Maine lawmakers said that Trump should be disqualified based on a provision of the U.S. Constitution that bars people from holding office if they engaged in insurrection or rebellion after previously swearing an oath to the United States. Now, the ruling, which can be appealed to a state court, applies only to the March primary election, but it could affect Trump's status for the November general election as well. And both the state decisions are likely to face appeals in court. And Trump, who is the front-runner for the Republican nomination, his 2024 presidential candidacy has been challenged in multiple states on grounds that the country's 14th Amendment bans him from holding office.
We will put America first, and today especially, in honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out.
And for more on this, we have with us Ray Locker, who's a senior journalist, author and columnist. Mr. Ray Locker, after Colorado, Donald Trump disqualified from Maine's primary ballot. Seems like a rough road ahead for him and, for Trump in the 2024 U.S. presidential elections. I want you to tell us what happens next.
Well, this is going to be appealed to the Maine Supreme Court, just like in Colorado, where that Supreme Court ruled on this. These judges, many of them who have been appointed by a former Republican governor, will determine his eligibility for the March 5th primary ballot.
Sure. And, despite being one of the least populous U.S. states, Democratic-leaning Maine has an unusual arrangement that allows it to split its 4 votes in the Electoral College. What effect can this have on Trump's campaign?
Well, if Trump is the nominee, he has a chance to win one of the 2 congressional districts in Maine. He's won one before. So it's possible he could pick up an electoral vote from Maine in the November election if he is the nominee.
And according to opinion polls, Mr. Locker, in the contest for the Republican nomination in 2024, he's far ahead of the pack. What are your comments on this?
Well, it's disappointing when you look at it because none of his opponents, with the exception of former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, are willing to take on Trump head on. If this was any other campaign, his opponents would be saying the guy's a criminal. He shouldn't be your nominee. But they're afraid to say that because of his cult-like status with so many other voters. So they kind of say, oh, he brought too much chaos or whatever, instead of saying the guy's not qualified, because they know he's too popular among such a wide swath of Republican primary voters.
All right. And for our viewers who've just tuned in, we're catching up with Mr. Locker to talk about, as the countdown begins for the U.S. presidential race, trouble is mounting for Donald Trump after a slew of legal battles. He's now ineligible to appear on Maine's 2024 primary ballot. But thank you so much, Mr. Locker, for joining us and giving us all those insights.